thank you very much for participating in this short interview for the Balance Project. And well, the first question I would have is, how has your life changed due to the COVID pandemic? What were the positive and also the negative impacts?
Yes, I think my life changed a lot in the last 2 years, as the life of everybody. When the pandemic started, I was working in Costa Rica for the German academic exchange, and I was working in a public university teaching German and German linguistics. And they closed the university on the 8th of March, and I was supposed to teach digital, like in online courses, from the next day. It was, for me, maybe not the big change, because I was participating in like online teacher trainings before. I was giving very, very short trainings on like everything online, but I had like knowledge about online teaching. But it was difficult for a lot of students because I was working in a public university, and a lot of students were from rural regions in Costa Rica, and they had or very bad internet connection, or maybe they had only one laptop or one smartphone for the whole family, for 3 to 4 or 5 children, and they had to share all the devices. So for them it was very difficult to participate in the classes, and for me it was difficult to think how to organize the class and design the whole approach in order to reach everybody, because some of them was like because of the very bad connection was not impossible for them, for others because they didn't have the device, others didn't have like the knowledge how to operate like these online tools. And of course for me also to use these new tools, because they were like every day a new tool for the online teaching, also to try out to see if it works, if not, which are the advantages, which are the disadvantages of these tools.
And did you receive any support for the transformation of your teaching modes, or was that all?
No, it was not possible with the university. Also, they didn't provide us with laptops, so I had my laptop and my good internet connection in my flat. It was not so difficult. What they provided to the students was SIM cards with internet, with data for internet. So that 3 weeks later, each student had a SIM card with a good internet connection in order to participate and assist in the class. But for the teachers, it was like from now on you have to teach online.
And especially when you say you already were experienced in digital teaching, I wonder how it has been for people who have never used digital teaching methods. So yeah.
Exactly. Before starting with the online teaching, I used Google Classroom or Teams from time to time. Of course, not so often like now, but I knew at least these programs and I worked with them sometimes.
Yes. Okay. Then the next question would be, how have you been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic in relation to your work-life balance and the digital well-being aspect?
Yes, it was also difficult because I came back to Germany, and I live in an apartment here in Germany, so I didn't have a proper apartment or a proper room. Even I was working from the kitchen or from the living room. I didn't have my office to work here, so I had like the workplace and the living place, everything together mixed. It was also not so easy because my partner lives for now in Malta. From one side it was easy because he could work from here and he came, so it was good for the relationship. But from the other side, with everything like with this digitalization, also with the lockdowns, it was not so easy to travel, and sometimes I was like just tired from online teaching the whole day. And then when you have a private, for example, phone call or video call, then it was like, oh, what now, the same like every day working digital, and then also the private life is also running digital.
Yes, of course. So would you say that you worked in the beginning more because you were working from home, and was this stressing you? Or yeah, maybe you can say something on that.
What were stressing me was like this, the same room, the same space or place for working and living. Where I was working, I worked eating there, for example, in the kitchen. And in the beginning, I worked more because I need to adapt all my concepts for the teacher trainings, so what I'm giving, to the online teaching, and also to find the best appropriate tools to make it in the same time to reach the people that the course is interactive and like innovative, but the same way with the digital tools. And we worked, I also talked with a lot of colleagues, we all worked a lot, but in the same time we were not allowed to do more extra hours, because maybe some, like not our administrator in our institution, but at the university in general, we were not allowed to do extra hours. And everybody knows that in the home office, normally the people work more, but we were not allowed. So it was difficult to find a way to finish everything what you want to do, but without doing extra hours.
Yeah. So it was the workload in the normal time frame was higher in the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we all had more workload, because to adapt everything, it's taking time, and also to prove all these concepts, if they're working online, if they're successful, it needs time.
Okay, I maybe already asked this question already a little bit, but have you received any support from your institution to improve the state of your work-life balance and digital well-being during this time, and or maybe also now? Is there something?
In Germany, yes. In Costa Rica, as I said, no. In Germany, I received a laptop for my unit here, and also we made our, how to say, like, trained a trainer. We met with our colleagues twice in a week, and we started to work together on this digital concept, to try different tools. We made it like a round table in Zoom, just to support us and support each other while working digital. We were sharing informations, experiences, new tools, new ideas, and it was a great support. But we organized it like by ourselves here at our unit.
Okay. So it's not an institutional support offering. It's something you decided on your own, a proactive meeting to exchange about tools.
Exactly. But at the institution, we also had some like webinars or some courses, how to teach online, how to reach more people, how to organize the group works. We had it, but what I like mostly enjoyed and took advantage of this was with my colleagues, this exchange.
Okay. What would you say, which are the lessons you have learned from this time, and how have you improved your work-life balance and digital well-being now?
I think we all have a lot of lessons learned. We also saw that it's not so difficult to adapt the teaching concepts at work. It just takes time in the beginning, but when you know all these tools, when you know how it works with the students, with the teachers, because we are working also with teachers, it's going for sure faster than in the beginning. Also with the time, we all found like our tempo, like rhythms. So for sure I work less now, like when I'm designing a teacher training, than in the beginning, because I already know what I can use for which goal, what I want to achieve, and what can I use in order to achieve this goal. And the lessons learned also, like to have breaks between the digital sessions, to do like some stretching, to go out for a walk, like these simple things. But in the beginning, I think we were not aware of the importance of all these small things that we already know. To change also the space where you're working, also to have more intensive exchange with your colleagues, because you're all on the same boat.
Yes, of course. And is there some kind of support you would wish to have received maybe in this time, or what you think is important for digital well-being?
In the beginning, for sure, because in Costa Rica, I were teaching online from March to June. So like 3-4 months, we didn't receive anything. And it was would be very helpful to receive this in the beginning.
And
Otherwise,
what
I can recommend everybody to look for the exchange with the colleagues and to share information, ideas, tips.
And what kind of support would have helped you, for example, in Costa Rica in the beginning?
In the beginning, it's a good question. Maybe more contact, also the same with the colleagues, because everybody was like stressed for like in his own home, seeing how to manage it alone. More interaction with the colleagues would be very nice.
Okay.
I think it was also something very new. Nobody was sure how to do it, how to manage it. We were all afraid from the virus. So everybody was at home. So it was just something very, very new in the beginning for the whole world.
Yes, of course. Maybe the last question, and you addressed this topic already a little bit in the beginning, in the first question. Regarding your experience, how would you say did the digitalization and also the pandemic affect your students and their work-life balance, maybe, and their digital well-being?
I think in the beginning it was difficult also for them. Of course, they're like the young generation is digital, like very experienced nowadays, but for them was also not easy, like to adapt, for example, for exams, online exams, how to organize the time where you don't have the teacher in front of you saying you have like 1 hour, 30 minutes. Maybe also the time management was difficult for them to decide, okay, now I'm studying here at home, after that I have to like prepare myself for the next studies. It a lot of like self discipline and time management is also needed for them to manage the career. For example, we have students now which are in the 6th semester and they're still online. They've never like met all the colleagues, all the students, classmates and teachers. It was a big challenge also for them, but now at the time I think everybody learned a lot from this situation. And not last but not least, like the digitalization of education is the future, so it was also a good test for us, good challenge to go in this direction.
Well, Milena, you now mentioned an aspect regarding being single and being alone as a woman during the COVID situation. Maybe you want to say some words to that?
Yes, exactly. For me, it was very interesting to see the different perspectives when people were talking about the isolation and also the well-being with the digital work-life balance, because I was at home, my partner was abroad, and like when he was not here working from Germany remotely, I was alone and everybody was like complaining about how difficult it is to be at home with children, with the whole family. And for me was like the opposite. I thought, oh, the isolation now, it's maybe easier if you're with a family and with a partner and not alone, because when you're alone, like you work at home, you are then after work also alone. For me was difficult because luckily I don't felt like bad or in depression, but it was difficult to manage it. And it's interesting because everybody's talking about the children, about women with family, but there are a lot of perspectives, and from each perspective is different for me and also difficult for everybody. So we cannot talk only about the elderly people, about the students, about families, but also for persons who are like in general alone. In my case, it was not for the whole time, it was because of the distance with Malta, but it's also a different situation, which is also difficult.